and beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself.
Shalom, children. Today we are going to be taking a deeper look at this week's Torah portion to see where it speaks of Yeshua Ha'Mashiach. We are in the book of Shemot. The parashah this week is also called Shemot, which in Hebrew means names. Let's hear a summary of the parashat. The children of Israel multiply whilst living in Mitzrayim. The new Pharaoh is threatened by their growing numbers and so makes them become slaves. Sometime later, he orders the Hebrew midwives to kill all Hebrew male babies when they are born to the Israelites. When they do not comply, he commands the Mitzrites to cast the Hebrew babies into the Nile. A woman from the house of Levi and her husband have a baby boy. To keep him safe, they place him into a basket and float him on the river Nile. Miriam, his sister, stands watch from afar. Pharaoh's daughter discovers the boy in the river. She names him Moshe and raises him as her son. As a young man, Moshe leaves the palace grounds and discovers how hard life is for his Hebrew brethren. When he sees a Mitzrite beating a Hebrew, he attacks him and kills him. The next day, he goes out again, and this time he sees 2 Hebrew men fighting. He tries to intervene, but they reveal to him. They know he has killed an Egyptian the day before. Moshe flees to Midian, where he arrives at the well and sits down. Whilst there, he rescues Yithro's daughters. He marries one of them and becomes a shepherd of Yithro's flocks. Adonai appears to Moshe from within a burning bush. He instructs him to go to Pharaoh and demand, "Let my people go so that they may serve me." Moshe's brother, Aharon, is appointed to speak on his behalf. Moshe and Aharon assemble the elders of the children of Israel to tell them the time of their redemption has come. The people believe, but Pharaoh refuses to let them go, and even increases the suffering of the enslaved Hebrews. Moshe asks Adonai why he brought this trouble upon the people. Adonai assures Moshe, redemption is close at hand. Yeshua said, "If you believed Moshe, you would believe me, because he wrote about me." So let's dig a bit deeper to see if we can find Yeshua in the scriptures. Our parashah today introduces us to a new character. A baby is born from the tribe of Levi, but the family don't have much time to celebrate, because a new leader rules over Mitzrayim, who does not want the children of Israel to continue increasing in their numbers. The Pharaoh tells the midwives, that is, the nurses who help the Hebrew women when they give birth, to do a very wicked thing. He says, "When you do the duties of a midwife, if it is a son, then you shall kill him." Children, we are only in the first chapter of the book of Shemot, and already we have a type and shadow of Yeshua's life. You see, men who lived east of the land of Israel at the time of Yeshua's birth had been taught to watch the sky very carefully. For one day, a very bright star would appear as a sign that a sovereign of Yehuda had been born. They knew this sovereign would be someone very special. They would need to visit him and pay their respect and show honor. At that time, the Roman government had appointed a man named Herod to be king and reign over the area of Yehuda. When the wise men from the east finally arrived in Jerusalem and asked where they could find the new sovereign, Herod was quite troubled, so he sent forth an order to kill all male children who were under 2 years old. The two leaders created very evil laws, but Adonai provided a way for Moshe and Yeshua to survive. Have you ever sat around a campfire and toasted marshmallows? It can be a lot of fun. Have you ever gone back to the fire pit in the morning and noticed how all the wood had burnt down into a small pile of ash? Everything has been consumed. In our parasha today, we read about a fire, but something about this one caught the attention of Moshe. It all happened when he was taking care of Yithro's flocks of sheep and had gone as far as Horeb. Moshe noticed a bush was burning, yet not being consumed. As he went over to investigate, Adonai called out to him from the midst of the bush. He had then given Moshe instructions about the redemption of the children of Israel. Fire is mentioned throughout the scriptures. We still use fire today to help us make things. It is used to bake pottery, to make cups and plates. It is also used to heat up metal so that it can be poured or pulled into shape. Fire is also used to purify metals, that is, to remove any waste from it. The metal is heated up and turned into a liquid. The waste, or dross, floats to the top and it can be removed or burnt off, leaving behind pure metal. In the book of Revelation, Yeshua told Yochanan, "Buy from me gold, refined in the fire, that you may be rich." It's not only metals that get put through fire to clean them up. When we go through a difficult time, it too is sometimes likened to being put through a fire. Shimon Kifar wrote to the believers saying, "Don't be surprised at the fiery trials you are going through, as if something strange were happening to you, but rejoice." He added, "These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests gold." There is a very interesting story from the book of Daniel which also features fire. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had refused to bow down to the statue of the king. The 3 men had been arrested, bound up, and thrown into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. But something incredible happened. King Nebuchadnezzar said to his counselors, "Did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire?" They told him, "True, O king." "But look," he answered, "I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt. And the form of the 4th one is like the Son of God." Just as Adonai was in the midst of the burning bush, so too Yahweh appeared in the form of a man in the fiery furnace. And as we know from our previous studies, when Adonai makes himself visible, it is in the form of Yeshua, the Word made flesh. Children, have you ever heard it said, a person has made a good name for themselves? What do you think that means? Well, when someone has done something good or helped others, they create a good reputation for themselves. In Hebrew thought, a name is much more than what everyone calls you by. A name describes the person's character, who they are, and what they do. For example, the name Mitzrayim means bondage, or a place that binds or restricts, which describes very well how the children of Israel felt when they lived there. The name Avraham means father of a multitude. We read in the book of Bereshit, "No longer shall your name be called Avram, but your name shall be Avraham, for I have made you a father of many nations." And the name Yeshua means Yahweh is salvation. This certainly describes our Good Shepherd, for he is the way to salvation and life. And do you remember, we have learned before that those who overcome will be given a white stone, and on the white stone a new name is written which no one knows except him who receives it. And whilst we do not know what our new name will be just yet, we can know it will describe who and what we are. Redeemed. Well, children, that is the end of our study for today. So we will see you next time, when we search the scriptures together. Shalom.
There is a name I call upon. There is a name by which I am saved. Salvation